Hi everyone. I've been asked by a few people how to make these little crochet daisy flowers in a granny square. So I was hoping I can give you a bit of a tutorial. There's a few ways you can do the centre. These are done in double crochet, but you can do them with a treble, which gives you a bigger sort of sunburst. And I've even done this one with a button in the centre. That's for another video. If anyone would like to know how to crochet round buttons, I might do one for that. But for now I'm going to show you how to do this one with the double crochet. And they do look quite effective actually, they're quite pretty, and you can join them together and make different things, bags, blankets. I've even seen pictures done with them and they look really effective. So what I do is I just begin with a small amount of yellow. It doesn't matter what size crochet hook you use, but the bigger the hook, the bigger the square will be. So this is a 2.5mm hook. So I'm just going to begin with doing 6 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which I will join together into a circle with a slip stitch. And then it's just a matter of doing 11 double crochets into that centre. So I've started with 1 chain and then I'll do 11 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm assuming you all know how to crochet. 7. You just need to keep that nice and tight. 9, 10 and 11. And if you can keep it tight, it means that you keep them in that circle and you come back there and then join back into that first chain that you did with a slip stitch. It's a bit tricky sometimes to get it through. And then just snip that off. And then using a wool needle, I will just tidy that up and fasten it off in the back. So I've done that, I've threaded the loose ends through the back there, tidied it up, snipped them off, and we're left with this ring of 11 double crochets. So for the next round we need white for the petals. Well, you can use any colour, but I use white. This is a cotton, which is quite nice to work with. The yellow is just some double knitting that I'd got left. You can use anything, use up odd balls. It's a good way of using up leftover yarn. So we're going to go into there, any of the double crochets, go in there between those two and just pull it through and do 3 chain. Now this is your starting stitch. You're going to come back in there and do a treble. We're going to do 3 altogether. There's 1, 2. Now those 3 chains at the start, as you know, count as your first treble, so that is a 3, but in subsequent ones we will be doing 3 trebles in each one. The first one's always a little bit tricky because you have only got that 3 chain, but if you can find the top of it, I hope you can see that. It's a bit hard to show it to the camera, but try and get in there between that top chain and then pick that loop back up again and pull it through. Now I find if you point the hook of the needle downwards, it seems a little bit easier to pull it through, and then pull it just nice and tight so it brings the top of that daisy petal together. And then we're going to do 2 chain, 1, 2, and then we repeat the process in this next double crochet, by doing 3 treble, but obviously we don't do the 3 chain again because we've already started. So we're going to go in there and do a treble. It's 1, 2, hope you can see this, 3. So there, you've done your 3 treble. Just pull that loop up just to loosen it a bit so it doesn't come undone, and then at the top of that first one that you did in those 3, just push your needle back through the little hook, the little V there, hook up that loop again and just pull it back through, pulling it nice and tight, and then 2 chain again, and then we're going to do the very same thing back into that double crochet, do 3 treble, and then again back in that 3rd one, hook up your yarn and pull it through and pull it tight, and there you can see these little daisy petals are beginning to form. I won't bore you doing the next load of them, but you come round and you do 1 in each. There was 11, so that will then give you 12 of the white ones when you do it into the 11 spaces that you've got, because of that first starting chain. It'll give you 12 white petals. So I'll finish those off and then I'll come and show you the next step. So I've finished those, I've done the 12 little petals, and I've come back round to the start and I've done the 2 chain that you were doing at the top of each one, and now I will join it back into the very first starting one. So you go in there where the top of those 3 chains that you did, just get it through there and just join them with a slip stitch, and then I'm going to snip that off. Pull that through, and then I will fasten this off in the back out of the way, and also the starting piece, just sew them through on the back to hide them. I'll be back in a minute when I've done that to show you the next step. So there we are, that's that finished with the 12 petals in there around the centre. So the next step is to do the outside crochet in there to make it into a square. I'm just going to rejoin the yarn between any of these petals, just in that 2 chain space that you did at the top of each one. And just pull the yarn through, do 3 chain to start off doing trebles. So we'll do trebles, another 3 in that gap. But again, those 3 chain count as your first treble. So those are your 3. Now I'm going to make this first group into the corner. So we do 2 chain and then another 3 back in that same spot. So another 3 trebles in there. If anybody's got any questions, I'm happy to try to help. I don't claim to be an expert on crocheting, but I've been doing it for about 50 years, so I've had a bit of practice. So there we go, that's made the corner there with the 2 chain. There's 3 treble, 2 chain and 3 treble, so that'll be the corner. So now we just carry on and we're going to do 3 treble in that space there. 1, 2 and 3, and again in the next space here we're going to do another 3. There's 2 and 3. You can find me on Facebook and on Ravelry. The links will be in the video description if you want to get in touch. There you can see how the petals are beginning to form by doing those trebles in between. So we've done 2, that was the corner, we've done 2 more, and now we're going to do the next corner in the next one. So the same thing again, we're going to do 3 trebles joined by 2 chains. That's my thread coming undone. I didn't sew that through very well, so I'll have to do that again when we get round. 2 chain, and then another 3 in the same spot. So I've not fastened that through very well, so that just needs catching back in again. And then we're going to do 2 in those, and then another corner there, and then another 2, another corner, and then 2 more there, and come back and join it up. So I'll do those, and then I'll see you again in a moment. So I've come round the full circle and back to where we started. So I'm going to join this by a slip stitch into that first set of 3 chains that we did there. Just join that together. Now you can either leave it at that, just tease it gently into shape at the corners, or you can do like I've done and you can do another row. If you want to do another row, just gently pop in those top chains and just slip stitch until you come back into the corner, and then when you're back in that corner do 3 chain, and then begin again in that corner doing your trebles. It's the same again. You do 3, one of them has a starting chain, 2 chain, and then 3 full trebles in there. So that's your corner there. So in that corner where you'd got 3 and 3 joined by 2 chain, you've got another 3 and 3 joined by 2 chain. So your corners follow each other up. So we're just going to carry on around by doing 3 treble in there, there and there in those spaces. So this time there'll be 3 groups of trebles until you come up to the next corner, and then in there you'll do 2 lots of 3 joined by a 2 chain, and there you go all the way around again and join it back up as we did before. There we are. I've come back round to where we started, and again I shall go in there and just join them together with a slip stitch. Now you can add more if you want, you could add more rows on top, but as long as you just make sure you always keep that corner group together, you won't go wrong. So, but what I would do is just snip that off and thread it through the back and just gently tease it into shape, and there's your square. Now you can join these together, and that's perhaps for another video. I'll show you how you can crochet them together to give a nice chain effect around the edge. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to do them. It's worth just giving those a little pull actually, just to raise them up a bit, because they do get a bit squashed as you're doing it. And you can see they have this lovely petal effect. It's really pretty effect. Hope you enjoy your crocheting. See you soon. Bye bye.